We have 3 more slots for presenters. Who is brave enough to come speak at whose slide is it anyway? It will be funny, there will be trolling, there will be awesome. I think we'll let people have, a first chance. If for some reason nobody signs up these last 3 spots, then I'll entertain repeats, and you are first on my list. What? Okay. We have another brave person.
Don't worry, John, I signed you up twice. Relativity.
What about relativity?
Yeah.
Yay!
Whether he knew it or not. Can I go early on?
Yeah. You can go. You want to go early on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not first, but early. Like in the first 3 or 4.
That's fine. Okay. We have 20 people on the list now. Yay! Therefore, I will not hold you hostage anymore, and we can start. I know Jimmy Chan had to go early. Is he in here yet? No, Jimmy's being a slowpoke. So I'm going to draw somebody randomly. Number 20, relativity. Now pick a number, 1 to 20.
17.
All right, you get deck number
get 2
17.
microphones.
One of them is Nauticon Radio, and one of them is in here.
What am I going to present on?
You are going to present on. You did not.
Deck 17.
Home decorating with hockey pucks.
Oh, excellent.
Go.
Hello, I am Relativity, and today we'll be talking to you about hockey pucks and decorating your home with them. Next slide, please. Cuter than penguins? Well, of course, hedgehogs are always a lot of fun. They like quarters and pointier than a handful of tuplux. I'll disagree on that. They're actually they're very fuzzy. No idea. Next slide. Instability. Has anybody ever seen a flamboyant hockey puck? What color would that be? Pink? Pink hockey pucks. So you want to put those high up on shelves. Oh man. Bubble bath screws. Next, I'm sorry. At least when I made these presentations, there is some consistency between slides. I made it. I made the first set of slides for this Who slide thing.
Carl!
Anybody want to come up and help me? I really don't know how any of these. Oh man. So yes. Oh, thank you.
watch as he turns into super relativity.
Boom, boom, boom. Ball sack.
Does anybody have any questions for relativity? Give relativity a round of applause. Number 10. That is Jimmy Chan. Pick a number 1 to 20.
Yeah, damn straight. I don't know where that came from. Are these on? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Damn straight. All right, speaking as an illiterate American, it's really on? I can't really hear anything. Oh, all right. Oh, thank God, because the world needs to hear this. All right. Per usual. All right. Boggle. Is it really that boggling? Yes. In one word, but in fewer words, no. Because it's a fucking game, and it's a lot easier if you just make shit up. Seriously, you just connect consonants for a while and just say it's Russian. It works out. Next slide. Fuzzy logic. So schizophrenic man apparently wrote this PowerPoint slide. But anyways, fuzzy logic. Let's see here. Yes. Yeah, no, llamas are fucking scary. I don't think we need, like, seriously, what is it? I mean, granted, you could have gotten a better shot of Sarah Michelle Gellar, but, like, yeah, anyways, so they're fluffy, they're wonderful. I think they spit. They will bite your nuts off. Not that I've tested that fact. Yes, I have. Oh. But yeah, they're camouflaged in the snow, and yeah, hooray llamas! I mean, come on, let's celebrate the llama. Everyone give a round of applause for the llama. All right, I'm just pandering to you. That was meaningless. All right, next slide, please. So you really should support superior water conduits. As a model, you generally don't want your main line spraying over some African child from a garden hose in the middle of God knows where. The rainforest generally does not work this way, contrary to popular belief. There's apparently the pride flags of the hoses here, because hoses got to represent, right? Am I right? All right. Yeah. Next slide. I'm having to read these first. It's one of those obvious. What does this attribute even have to do with the concrete object? God knows what. Honestly, I've read a good number of programming books in my time, and let me tell you, those things are written by like some schizophrenic, sociopathic, narcissistic dude who's sitting inside of some cave somewhere, like clutching himself tightly to like his old little like 86 or whatever, some processor machine that he fucking like he needs to have it. He loves it. He writes these things, but there's like no semblance of reason or logic. He just does it. Yes. I have no idea why you all just applauded that. That was but yeah, so to sum up, if there was a point that I was making, and there was one, it's to bring the troops back. I think we all acknowledge that. But also that three-toed sloths only look slow because they travel faster than light. So, like, imagine what it's like to masturbate as a sloth. Seriously, it's like a Valvoline commercial where there's like thermal breakdown. Yeah, it gets out of hand real fast. That's why I do it sloth style. All right. Yeah, no, I need additives and shit because it gets a high. Yes, I come before I started. Follow-up question to that, anyone? Because I don't know how you're gonna top it. Seriously, there was science and dick jokes involved. Seriously, something for the whole family. It's wonderful. Anything? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy. And now, number 3, MoveX. Are you here? You are not here, you suck, you're going back in the stack. I'll give you another try later. Number 4, Deviant. He's not here yet either. Oh my goodness, why is everyone so late today? No, he sucks too. Number 8, Inspired Chaos. Oh my goodness, people. Number 9, Rocco. Yay! Give me a number between 1 and 20 that's not 17 or 18.
Blue.
That's not a number.
Yeah, 2.
2. But that's not between 1 and 20.
It could be. Inventions that kick butt. This was sometime. There was this thing where you take the numbers of the dots and you draw a line to each dot, and then you get this. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. You gotta wait a while for this thing to boot up. I don't see a can of whoop ass in here, but there's plenty of schlocky schlock there. Okay, schlocky schlock. It's a protoculture. It's beyond our culture. It's before the culture. I can't even describe that because it hasn't happened or has happened. I'm sure I don't work for the government. Maybe. Private concerns always operate abacus in a locked room when making sensitive calculations. Don't catch your fingers between the rods or between the beads. Next slide. Intrinsic levels of interest. USB cables comprise over 10%. Caterpillars are orange, and spatulas are overwhelmingly yellow. slinky toys, and burlap bags. Next slide. Mama Shack, Mama Shack. Shack's your mom. That's a fact. Shack's my mom. Shack is your mom. Shack is Kobe Bryant's mom. He balls so hard. He needs to quit balling. So, since earlier when we were looking at USB cables, what I wanted to say is that I didn't want to say anything. Next slide, please. Yes, and you can see here that this has it's full circle. There's like an insane clown head thing, and that involves the yellowness of some of the things on the previous charts. So in conclusion, Hair Club for Demons. Yeah. Well, no. Actually, you can swim with it, but only in fire. No, they're both after and before. I don't know what the freaking problem is with you people. You're during people. The durers. Shaq needs no help with burlap. Yes. No. Yes. No. 4. Orange. Any more questions? I think the topic is avoiding you.
Thank you, Rocco. That was awesome. Next person, please be here, please. Number 1, Mr. Domino. What number deck would you like?
4. All right, so I memorized all these slides before the talk, so hopefully I'll be able to get through them pretty quickly. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm going to tell you guys a few different things that are all going to kind of come together and sort of like into one thing at the end. Like basically, we're going to jump around a lot. I'm going to tell you a lot of things, and at the end of this, I'm going to tell you something very important that you probably already know, but maybe not. And so let's go. Next slide. Super Mario is fiction. There's no such thing. Now here's the thing. We all played Super Mario when we were kids, but as it turns out, everything. I know. I threw up Yoshi. Mario is fiction, and the stick is coming out of my mouth. Long story. Next slide. So it's really important that you understand here that clearly spider plants dominate all of the other ones in reverse causality bizarre world, and Super Mario is in fact real. So it turns out that they don't exist. You see, the thing is that the power backpacks are fictional, but everything else is real right now except for the stuff on that slide. Next slide. Now everything on this slide is true. Nothing on this slide is false except for the thing on the slide that's false that you can't tell which thing it is. Which thing is it? Look at the slide. It's right there. I'm sorry, but yes. You should all get tested for AIDS. Yep. Just like I remember it. Next slide. So it's important that you understand that complexity is actually a really complicated problem in general. You see, If you're zooming through the Mandelbrot set and you wind upon a fireball, what do you do? Damn fucking straight. Next slide. Any questions?
Any more questions for Mr. Domino?
Fiddles, I'll tell you later. Backpacks in the bathtub, really important. They go out of tune otherwise. My God, yes. Are you kidding me? Vote for me for president, and I'll tell you. No.
Thank you, Mr. Domino. Now, number 15, Wesley Gould. I knocked over my balls. What number slide deck would you like?
3. 3 been taken? All right. So today I'm here to tell you about the number 3 and how it relates to modern pencil manufacturing. Yes, 3. Well, you see, it's the new model. It's the new model. You had the number 2 pencil. You always took your tests on that. Number 3, the reason they don't let you use that is it makes you smarter. It's cheating. You see. What? Me? Pencils? Oh, you're doing a Freud impression again. It's something about my mother, I think, and but sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, right? Anyway. Anyway, next slide, please. So now that we've talked about pencil manufacturing, with those pencils, you're going to write down a lot of adjectives and adjective nouns and add nouns and add words and adverb, adjective, whatever thingies and those things. All of those things. What? Nouning. The what? The what? The ask. Where's ask? I can't quite read some of these. Please save me from this slide. So after talking about caves and gushing, you need to be kind to your bucket, because that will save you from the gushing caves. Indeed. No, that was somebody else. You tighten clockwise, just like it says right there. Very. Well, to hold it in place. Bucket. Noun, verb, noun. Submarine. No. No buckets have been harmed in the making of this presentation. Next slide, please. Yes, indeed. Buckets need to be free. Pencils need to be free. Everything needs to be free. You need to free all of the things, including Willie. Willie needs freed. What? Good. Free all the things. Next slide, please. To sum it all up, hats are awesome and I love them. You see? Hats go well with your pencils. Don't forget that. But those help with the buckets, because, yeah, anyway.
You'd squish the hat. That'd be bad. You don't want to squish the hats. Hats are great. I love hats. There's probably one on Etsy. Oh, 42 hats are better than no hats, right? Okay. Sorry. Didn't seem to be on earlier. My bad. Is that it? We good? Thank you.
Thank you. Number 11, Nightshade. Now, which deck do you want?
I will take number 11. This talk will go to 11. Yes, folks, it's true. This talk is about pants, which is appropriate because I talked about pants in my earlier talk. Yes, pants are a very important topic. I know that there's a great deal of debate on this about whether pants are good or pantslessness is good, but it depends on the place and the time that you're in. I mean, for example, right now, I really don't want to see most of you pantsless. It's true. Anyway, moving on. Let's get to the next slide here. So, yes, tendency. Wow, this is very much like my earlier talk. A tendency to start fires. So we have various fanciful ways to start fires. You could say take a 9-volt battery and heat up these fine antique tweezers here, and that would probably help you start a fire once it gets hot enough. In fact, if you get it even hotter, I bet the tweezers will turn into plasma, and then you've got a really nice blaze going. We also have, what's this look like there? I think is that Cleveland? I'm not sure. There's too much, there's a river on fire. I can't really tell what's going on there. Do fish have AIDS? Do all the fish have AIDS? Hey now, I'm from Detroit, bitch, and I hate that remark. So, yeah, well, I won't say all the fish have AIDS, but there is HIV in the fish population. It's an unfortunate case. But it's all the heroin-using fish that they tend to get AIDS from the intravenous drug use. Potentially, yes. Only if, no, not from kissing the fish. But, I'm sorry? To get pants from it, I think you need to skin it and take its skin and make them into pants. That's really the only way to go. Next slide, please. Success at water removal. Squiggles time. Yes, it is. So basically, we have jackets. They're very good at removing water. If you spray them with water repellent, as you can see, walnuts are not very good at removing water because they're very, very hard on the outside, not very absorbent. Hubcaps are successful because you can take the hubcap off the car and fill it with water on the concave side. So you can keep bailing water out of whatever you want to take water out from. And that go-kart, wait, did you say go-kart futures? What do I think is going to happen to go-kart futures? Well, I think as gas prices rise, more and more people will think that go-karts are an acceptable use of transportation technology, but they're probably going to run into problems with the National Highway Transportation Safety Board when they start having all these go-karts on I-72. It's just going to be a bad deal. That's why you can see that they're declining over time. Say again? Go-karts with hubcaps. Well, the hubcaps are going to be very small, and that's why they remove less water, because the smaller diameter wheel has a smaller diameter hubcap with a lower volume to it, you see. What am I hiding? This. Anyway, I'm sorry. I must go to the next slide. Really, we have to get through this. The funkiest monkey of all, Chunky Monkey versus Brass Monkey. I have to go with the Brass Monkey. I'm a Beastie Boys fan, and yes, it very much is. Which one? Not the ice cream. I unfortunately don't know where in Ohio you can buy this. I mean, exactly. The Beastie Boys are getting inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame today. We would like to celebrate this great date in history by, celebrating all the chunky monkeys and brass monkeys out there. Thank you. Next slide, please. And in conclusion, I would like to present you with this M.C. Escher tiling painting. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Will the pants harm the bucket? That's a very good question. I don't think pants are going to harm the hubcap. The bucket is a little bit, most buckets are a softer material, so it's possible they might get a little bit of abrasions going if you're are kind of rubbing them with the pants or whatever. Yes, John. Can you use hubcaps as pants? I suppose if you get creative enough, you could probably figure out a way to cover all of your legs with hubcaps. Now, granted, you might run into some problems there with the fact that they're circular and they don't tile well over a person's body. Say again, Nick. If you're looking for brush pants, I think they would because the metal will be very, very durable, and therefore it'll turn away brush and other obstacles. It'll basically be like wearing a suit of armor. If you free your willy, will it still be effective? That would depend on if there's any kind of vegetation that rises up to the level of your willy. So I guess I suppose it depends on the size of your willy. What are you? Are you a llama? Do you eat pants for a living? What's up? What is with this, Rocco? Okay, I'm sorry. No more questions. I must cede the floor to the next person. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nightshade. Number 14, Honoria. And which number deck would you like?
19 is left.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be standing here in front of you tonight talking about, I don't know yet, proper care and feeding of your pet rock. Oh, I'm so excited about this. This is kind of my pet topic because, pet rocks, pets. First of all, as we have on the introductory slide, you have housing and nesting for your rock. These are both very important, especially in the case if you're trying to breed them, you have to have a good nest. Well, if you have your pet rock in a nest, then it's absorbent and you don't need to worry about it, so your pet rock doesn't need reprimanding. Only if you need to remove the pee, and only if there's enough that you have to worry about the volume of the hubcap versus the go-kart hubcap.
How important is the blue to white gradient?
Your pet rock does not require pants, but it does enjoy them, so apply the pants judiciously, please. Next slide. Ask the rock. Oobleck. 4 ounces of cornstarch, 4 ounces of water, hours of non-Newtonian fun, and some pretty shady-looking pictures. Somebody really likes Oobleck. Next slide, please. The 4-dimensional outdoors. We have. Why do we have a 2-dimensional graph for a 4-dimensional problem? Okay, budget cuts and not enough time. Okay, so we have length, width, height, and time. And we see that, okay, onions are not very long. Acorns are somehow longer. Twigs, of course, beat them out in that department. Width-wise, yes, but there's not enough time for that. 7. But only if you're working in 4 dimensions. If you're working in 3, there are 19. It gets complicated. What's on the next slide? Jumpstart your business with balls. Oh, everybody's favorite topic here. Isn't this exciting? Brightly colored balls, highly recognizable depending on how much time you spend with or without pants, and a truly bold promotional statement. You can see that we have, well, people are supposed to play with them. That's how you get your message out. You can see we have, as well as other things, including your willy. So You can see we have various styles. I do not recommend tattooing your balls. Painting is much more effective and much less painful. Depends on your cornstarch intake. If you're dehydrated, it might be a little bit, it might shatter. All right, one more slide. To conclude, replace all trains with bulldozers. That way you end up with more pet rocks. You don't need to breed them. You can be a lot less judicious about your nesting materials, and everything is a lot easier. Any questions? Yes. Well, right, but they're working rocks when they're rail beds, whereas when they're displaced, they have nothing to do, so they're your pet. Only in Michigan. They're more. Yes, sir. You know, there are a lot of factors to consider there. Well, the ridership of the trains isn't so important because they're bulldozers now. Okay. Occupy the gravel pit, free the rocks, but not around your willy because that could get painful. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Honoria. Number 17, Julia. And what number deck would you like?
9. Is that done?
It is all yours.
Hello. This is actually a fantastic presentation since I just went to court for my traffic ticket. And actually, the fantastic part about this was the part where the prosecutor, after looking at my ID, talking to me for 10 minutes, and keep in mind I was wearing a skirt, a blouse, and a bra for once. White. Turned around to the lawyer next to him and said, really, you could learn a lot from this boy's motion. But it was very funny because they dismissed nearly all of it, but damn, I thought I was doing 80, not 75. Next slide. Making your own dubstep. Just in case you don't happen to have a nice old modem to connect, you can actually set a metronome. Russian will work fine as well. Then you need to speed up. Sorry? It will increase their fertility, and you will be overrun like lemmings. But they do jump off cliffs really nicely, so you don't really need to worry about it. What about those of us that pick up traffic? Aww. Next slide. Tweeting is really awesome, and it has really reduced our attention span as a nation. Squirrels. Next slide. Creepy, shiny, and loud. All of those sound fun. No, cacti. You need more than one, or it's not nearly as creepy. I think that I think definitely for cacti we need to have peyote. That would make the spacemen much easier to explain. Pardon? I think like every time they come home we need to polish them as a service to our lovely spacemen. Possibly with spit in our mouths. No, no, no. They have to go to space first and earn it, damn it. Next slide. In conclusion, unique feature is the killer app. Any questions? Sometime this fall. Well, you know, after the protests in Chicago, I don't know how well they're going to fare. Only once, only after the protests, when they kill all the protesters, and it's just kind of got that nice sheen of blood all over. No, no, they don't have any rocks there. I'm sorry. No, no peyote, damn it. I haven't seen any of that since I moved back from Texas. No roofies either, sorry.
Thank you, Julia. Number 16, Lycanthrope. Which deck would you like?
Has 5 been taken?
All yours.
Awesome, thank you very much. Hello, Nauticom. Thank you all very much for coming out tonight and listening to this talk. I really appreciate your being here, and I really appreciate your listening. So today I am here to talk about making parking meters from items in your pantry. Now, I know that this is something that you all have been, as hackers, really interested in trying to figure out how to do. But as you're also aware, the really serious problem with this is, next slide please, is the presence of useful vacuum attachments. Now, there are crevices, and crevices can pose a number of problems, especially when they get dusty, and that's why you need extension hoses to insert in the crevices, after which you will need floor brushes to clean up the oblak, and possibly even upholstery tools if things have gotten really interesting. Next slide, please. Oh, wait. I think that's a question that every person has to answer for him, her, etc. self. Next, please. Yeah, so all of the, excuse me? Again, that's a personal issue. So, you know, all of these different, as we may have heard earlier today, some of you were at a talk about privacy law, and it's very important to, when you are using upholstery attachments or anything like that, before you click the little button that says that you agree to absolutely everything that the upholstery hose is going to do to you, that you read the fine print. Because if you're not careful, it might give you a tax refund, it might give you gas, it might credit you with the gas, and then it might put all of it on your bar tab. Next. Obviously, we're not drinking enough. I hear that there's a bar down the hallway and another one up the stairs. I haven't written my book about it yet, so I can't tell you. Shenanigans. Excuse me? There are a lot of things on the internet, aren't there? Including poisonous reptiles. Also poisonous reptiles on the internet. Some people possibly have poisonous reptiles in their pants also. And if you're not careful, a poisonous reptile might get into your upholstery hose, and in that case, you need to be very careful not to stick it into any crevices unless you have first acquired the crevices' full consent. Next. In conclusion, Amare mia bella non credi. Thank you.
Thank you, Lycanthrope. Number 19, Nooksy. Okay, Captain Whacker, what deck do you want? OXF is not taken, it's all yours.
So I Warning, I have a little ADD. This is going to go all over the place. So first of all, igloos are very important. Everyone should know how to build an igloo. I usually don't recommend plastic. I think beer cans work better or glass bottles. That igloo looks mostly recyclable, although whether or not you get deposit back depends on what state you live in. Yeah, that one definitely is going to smell like hippies. Because I believe in sustainable living. You can bring your pet rock into your igloo to sleep with you. Yes, start drinking now. Well, what was that question? This is from this is from the Occupy the People's Republic of Ann Arbor. Next slide, please. Frisbee golf is a very important game. This is where you can you drink your beverages, and that's how you get the empty bottles for your plastic igloo. Frisbee golf takes a lot of work. I recommend drinking plenty of fluids. What? If you could play Australian rules where you throw the pet rock at your competitor. Hold on, there were two people at once. Nick? Wait, so who's in the bag? Is that nice? Sure. You? If you really want to, in some jurisdictions that might be acceptable. Next slide, please. I'm not quite sure what I put on this slide. I think I was drinking alcohol to get bottles for my igloo when I made this one. Oh, well, you can use this to clean your bottles out after drinking them. That's on the 6th floor. Next slide. A comparison of clips to hold your plastic water bottles together. As you can see, alligator clips are the best choice. Hair clips are the worst. Movie clips work surprisingly well. You might not expect that one. I couldn't get enough volunteers to help test that one. Yeah. Barbecue sauce was invaluable for helping with this presentation. I recommend the binder clip. It depends on how much pain they're into. What? Yeah. Don't use those if you don't want to harm your bucket. I do not recommend harming your bucket. Who cares about number 3 pencils? I'm sorry to our presenter who was talking about number 3 pencils. Number 2 is where my heart's at. What? Rail clips. Next slide. In conclusion, if a Absolutely. What do you have against reptiles? You know what? Fuck science. Dinosaurs do not have fucking feathers. I don't care what they say. Are there any remaining questions? That's not a hair question, I'm sorry. No one has yet to repeat this. It might end up in the Journal of Irreproducible Results, but maybe one of you will take up the challenge. Yes. There's a test tomorrow morning. I hope you are all paying attention. What was that? Yes.
Thank you, Nooksy. Thank you, Captain Whacker. Number 18, Globber. Are you still here? Corey, Globber? You are not. You're going back in the stack for now. Number 3, Movax. You will present. Which deck do you want?
How many are left? I'll take number 20.
Number 20.
Hello. My problem is that I'm not getting enough excitement out of all of you. Come on. What's going on? Yeah! All right. So, I think you should all know just how much money you can save nutritionally feeding your family with Spam. Next slide. Oh, thank you. I'm used to like not having underlings. This is weird. I come from corporate and they don't give me underlings. Okay, so Spam is high art in all aspects. I don't want you to underwrite this important material for creating the next generation of artwork. What do you think? More Spam. See how stimulated the eyes have become? This is a sign that it is now absorbing not only nutrients through its butt, but also information through its mind. Yes, sir. What's that? I think it may only increase the use of drugs, but this is like one of those counterintuitive factors. People will initially begin buying less drugs as they are satisfied with Spam in and of itself. However, it's a gateway of sorts, so we have to be careful in its street distribution. What's that, sir? No, this is just a poor representative sample. I mean, R&D is working on ironing out all of the issues, but Spam does not make you constipated. But you shall have to write that in yourself. That's beyond our department. But truly, like, Spam is not just for art and nutrition. It's also food for thought in terms of deep sight, sophisticated philosophical, pontifications of all sorts. Yes, sir. No. I want to clear something up. My national origin is a company trade secret, and I am not allowed to divulge it. So even if I were Nigerian, I couldn't tell you here. Talk to me after the con. Bring a nice bottle. We can get to know each other a little more, and then maybe we can find out where that goes. I'm not a fan of Barry Manilow, but you know the hey, the various artists. Whoa! Someone has been playing with my slide set, but I'm sure all these fine people eat Spam. This was a night of heavy Spam consumption of the subjects and developers. Keep in mind, this was a radioactive isotope of Spam, so they had extra heavy energy in all of their eyes, especially this guy right there. I do not believe so, although we did not control for that variable. The signifier was too unwieldy subject to test for in audience screening or any other format. They are not mutants. They are genetically deviant individuals. That is the official company line. Yes, sir. I will remind you, sir, that correlation is not causation, and this frequent string of constipation cannot be definitively attributed to Spam in a statistically significant way. Next slide, please. Just because our company has bought significant shares in Spam, does not mean that I am related. And once again, I will remind you that my heritage is a company trade secret, and if you want to know more, you need to, like, treat me right. I do not measure these events in costs, but in precious memories for everyone. Look, I am to settle all questions on the subject matter, I am an intensive company retrainer, and these are not love sessions. I'm not sure you can afford them. Yes. What? No. I do not perform any terrible Barry Manilow cover bands. What? A little bit. I can give you anecdotal details about my heritage and family, but I think it's quite boring. I think what we need to return to here is the company taglines, which is power, perfect, and tells you what you already know. Next slide. This has nothing to do with the constipation, I swear. Yes, sir. Speak up. That is untested. As I'm just trying to get you excited about the potential of this new brand, and constipation is not part of the brand. It is a useful byproduct for people who poop too much. Yes. I'm sorry, people. I need you to calm down just a little bit. Yes, sir. No, spam raised the energy. No. Once again, research and development is working with the clinicians very carefully to come up with the various recommendations for unintended side effects. Yes, I saw a question over here. I have no personal comment on this matter, but the official company line is probably not. Yes, sir. That is not a robot. It is an autonomous android, and it is not constipated. It is unhappy. There is a difference. Next slide, please. Okay, that's the end. So, in conclusion, energy from spam. There you go.
Thank you. Number 2, Jamie Payne. Are you here? You are not here yet. I am putting you back in the stack. Number 7, Info Widget. And which deck would you like?
13. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So there are many blenders out there, and I want to talk about blenders. And most importantly, Nauticon. Will it blend? Next slide. And so if you are blending something, yes, please. Everybody is. Apparently, lots of people are here, and they're very, very happy. And it's good to be happy. Apparently, you're supposed to grin and blend. Okay, next slide. That's what you need. If you're blending something, you really need to have something to whack and blend at the same time. And so, because it is wholesome. Perhaps for some people, they aspire to that number. No. It can be very wholesome for some people, and you may experience some oobleck afterwards, and so you may need to use the crevice tool after blending and whacking. I did say yes that afterwards you may experience some oobleck, and there may be some involved. So there's no constipation from whacking. Actually, whacking cures constipation. No, I cannot. Okay, next slide. And so you always would have a generic data table to present your results if you were talking about blending and making sure that things work. And so hot dogs don't blend entirely as well because they have the 0.24 attribute of 1. No, I think the vegetarians, it might be unethical for the to whack the hot dogs, and you can blend vegetarians and the vegans all in one. It's a twofer then. You get them from your pet rock. Your pet rock will tell you the. Here, right there. Next slide. And to sum it up, don't put things that you would be blending in the holes. Otherwise, you'd whack it. Yes, you should do it right now, actually. It is not constipated, nor is it right here and here. Yeah, it's because after you have whacked, or one has whacked, it would serve as a semiconductor-ish like substance. No, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Info Widget. Cat food. Otherwise known as some guy on bridge, otherwise known as whatever he's going by today. What deck do you want?
I'd like deck number 14. It just got worse. I warned you this con was going to start out bad and get much worse. And the weather in Biloxi just depresses me even more. It started out thundering, not a hint of rain, maybe a little bit of Santorum. And then it just got warmer. I don't know the difference between, I do not actually know the difference between Santorum and Ooblex. I would not vote for either. Oh, their message is very, very clear. Tangy, perhaps. Is this being streamed? I'm pulling out right now. Oh, next slide. Next slide. Oh. I went to high school. Yes. I went to high school with this guy. I'm older than I look. Yes. Yes, that's fucked up. When did they take that away? Yale Law School is for the people who couldn't cut it at Cleveland Marshall.
And as somebody who is really honestly for real from Connecticut, the legend that Moses Cleveland went on this expedition to the Western Reserve to establish a city on the banks of Lake Erie, bullshit. He was a fleeing felon, skipped a court date, and his bond was revoked. He actually could never come back to anywhere in the East Coast without a mob after him. It was a horrible event in Connecticut history. It had to do with Santorum. Yeah, that's true. Are there any questions about the crime? Yes. The city of Cleveland is in fact a typo. We've never really gotten anything right, have we? That's not part of the. Yeah, it was. There was this. Well, all I'm saying is that whatever he was cleaving, it was probably not underage. Well, because no, wait. I graduated from high school in 1794. I wasn't underage. Is this a girly drink? You in the back. No. Fuck. I decided I'm quitting this bullshit. I'm just gonna run away and just start my own Liz Phair cover band. Yeah. Okay. Is the band going to be called Snake Man? It already has been. Yeah, they're not giving me anything to work with here, so I'm just going to pretend this is the slide about the gross national product of Pennsylvania. So yes, it was imaginary and had complex roots. Why won't you answer the question, sir? You're not answering. Very good answer. Next slide, please. You laugh, but where is your empathy? The pointy-haired boss only wants to be understood. Any way it's possible. He could be misunderstood. He could be misunderstood in a negative way. But yeah, you in the back with it. Speaking of hair, if you rub it on the bald spot, there we go. If you rub it on the bald spot and do this faithfully every day for 14 days, morning and night, small quantities, no more than 30 grams, okay, it will do jack shit. Yes, you in the back. On your head or up your ass? Okay, on your head, it will neither cause nor cure constipation. Did you raise your hand? Next. This man was waiting to ask a question. It was probably way better than that one. Yeah. This is the problem with Whose Slide Is It Anyway? People come with bullshit questions that they should have researched on their fucking own. You know where to get spam. You know what an igloo looks like. What the fuck? Yeah. What's your room number? Oh my God, Julia can't take me anywhere. Any more questions about the hair? Yes. Not you. Okay. No, come on. I'm going last for a reason here. Next slide, please. Yes. Is zero prime? Snap. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. You know, I object to the use of scab rocks in this production. Who's with me? No scab rocks. No scab rocks. No scab rocks. No scab. Yeah. Free the rocks, yes. Rock on. You know, I wish I could ask for another slide. Can I have another slide anyway? Oh, okay. Any more questions on the presentation as a whole? Okay. That. How much you got? Next. What is with the baldness questions? So I've got a big forehead. Fuck you. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland, ironically, has no rocks. They're all on strike. Next. Any more questions? I didn't see your hand up. Okay. Sir. He wasn't this morning. Oh. Yeah. Sir, can you rephrase that question? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 6, Megalos. Which deck do you want?
Pick a slide, any slide. Lucky 7. I've got slide 007. So, is My Little Pony your little pony too? Well, now that's an interesting philosophical question. Now that's a really interesting philosophical question. Is My Little Pony your little pony too? What does that mean to you? Next slide, please. So as we see here, peppermint pepperoni, or better known as peppermint My Little Pony, as I like to call it, is 200% of your daily allowance of letters P, E, and not that important, R. However, it's 150% of your daily allowance of pepper. This is very important to remember, especially when you're a little tiny pony. 0% of your daily allowance of food that tastes good, because pepperoni just, it sucks. Especially if it's in a Hot Pocket, because has anybody ever had a Hot Pocket with pepperoni? Has anybody ever had an edible Hot Pocket? Let's face it, it's really not worth 200% of your daily allowance of anything. Yes, is there a question in the back? You, sir, you had a question. You had a question. Is there anybody here with a question at all? Nobody with a question? Surely we're moving on. So, happiness is a large wrench. That is so damn true. Especially if you got to get that Santorum out. Like, I'm telling you, man, a large wrench is definitely the ticket. Well, didn't I get the Santorum out of you yesterday? What was that, a 1,300 inch-pound torque wrench that we used? Okay. So, go ahead on the next one. Oh, there was a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I think I can best explain it like this. In just a second, we're going to be looking at leaves here, headphones, and curling rods. Now, curling brushes are a little bit different than tablets. As you can study this here chart, we see that this brown area here is tablets. Now, as I think everybody can understand, next slide, please. Context. What was the context of a Rickroll? I have no idea. But who needs context anyway, really? I mean, it's a Rickroll for crying out loud. Any questions? Yes. The pink one, of course. I am not, but I often get confused for them when I'm wearing sandals. That's why I wore boots today, so that, there would be a little bit more. Yes, sir. Never going to give you up. Never going to give you up. Now, barbecue sauce back there definitely would give you up in a heartbeat. He would drop you like a bad habit. I know for a fact. Go ahead. There is never, that's actually a really thoughtful question. I appreciate it. Actually, the bigger the wrench, the better the wrench. That's what I always say. The bigger the wrench, the better the wrench. Yes. No. How? Very good question. Very good question. Actually, no, but I do find that it does result in some occasional discharge of Santorum. Next question. Thank you.
Thank you, Megalos. Number 3, Movax, are you here? We're still not here. I think I've called you 3 times, and you're not here yet, and that makes me sad. So if he doesn't show up by the end of this, one of you who hasn't signed up is going to get a chance to talk. Number 8, Inspired Chaos. Are you here? He's still at Pixel Jam, so maybe 2 of you will get to talk. Number 13, Michael. Awesome, you're here. And which deck do you want?
5.
5's taken.
5's taken.
3's taken.
I took all the prime numbers. We'll go to 10.
Number 10.
Cyber War 101. All right. Who here doesn't know about Cyber War? Class War it is. Excellent. All right. Fun with homophones. Now, clearly from this weird table, we can see that the baldness is a consistent pattern among these slides. And so is the letter S. And air and air. Now, with class warfare, that's a good point because you need a lot of bald people in order to participate and a lot of civil unrest because no one's going to believe a bunch of people with hair. Pardon me? That's included. No. Well, it depends. Depends on who you ask. If you go to the civil unrest or to Occupy protests, and you ask around, you'll get very different answers. But if you go to the internet, they're going to clearly say it's all because of ponies. Yes. Yes. Yes, they do. Back there. Possibly. Possibly. With these very descriptive images, you can clearly see Tesla. They're homophobes, and they clearly participated in the very first Occupy protest about 400 years ago. Yes. The only problem is J.P. Morgan didn't find a way to make money off of it, so. But, and Tesla is obviously a better name than Al Gore, so. It's a great name, great man. And Tesla loved ponies, so. He actually invented the very first LOL cats. He tried to transmit it over the airwaves, but no one was able to hear it because he was the first one broadcasting it, and no one had the appropriate equipment to listen to it. Telephone what? Now you can clearly dial 0 for an operator, dial M for murder, dial 911 for emergencies, or stop eating my tasty, delicious quarters. Now quarters are very useful because they help with the civil unrest and somehow with Tesla. Yes. Yes. This is before the bun was invented. This is what? Yes. Someone will be murdered. So if you keep dialing M, like if you're frustrated and you keep pounding on the number pads, you're going to kill a lot of people, so be careful. Yes, in the far back. It's neither. It works magically. No DC or AC, yes. Monkeys were not harmed in the use of making this slide, and Tesla didn't like monkeys. Birth control's free. You just keep pressing M. I'm not related to Ted Kennedy. Quarters, you have to enter at least 75 quarters before you can use M, and before the birth control works. Yes. You keep dialing. Just keep spinning. And quarters, of course, are tasty. Clearly, he wished he had a phone, because if he had a phone, he'd keep because of spam. No, because that would help clean up all the Santorum. Yes and no. And that's any final questions on the toilet paper Santorum Tesla. It depends on which roll you grab. They clearly don't like pants. There weren't enough buckets to make pants. Pants are a side effect of electricity. Yes and no.
Thank you. Number 4, Deviant, who still sucks and is still not here. Number 2, Jamie Payne, are you here? She told me to sign her up for this, and now she's not here, and I'm sad. Barbecue sauce, I know you're here. What deck do you want, barbecue sauce? It's all yours.
Good evening. All right. Just going to wait for deck 12. Yes. Okay, tonight we're going to be talking about safety. All right. Now, you see? Now, safety is a very important thing for us to keep in the back of our minds, in the front of our minds, in the sides of our minds. All right. First off, as you can see, there are a number of cones right along this, right outside this, inside this train station, rather. They don't want you falling down, because once you do, it makes the trains, I'd say, about 40 seconds behind schedule. Very bad situation. Furthermore, beneath that, safety goggles. If you're going to fall, make sure that you wear the safety goggles. That way your eyes don't splatter. They will not keep the Santorum out of your eyes. They will keep it in, yes. All right, and wow, safety razor that I haven't seen in about 10 years. Can you demonstrate the safety dance for us, please? Then I cannot answer that for you. And safety, I'm sorry? Is who a friend of mine? Sadly, yes. He is a friend of mine that is incapable of doing the safety dance. I can do the safety dance. However, I would much prefer that Jay do it. Actually, Jay, please come to the floor, perform the safety dance. Thank you, Jay. Well played. And there are safety pins for no apparent good reason. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Now, the business projections for the safety of fairy dust are not very... Fairy dust is not promising. PCP is a little more promising, but primarily it's because it goes through the gray channel distribution. All right, so... You're going to have to check with the gray market. I can only speak for our appropriate reseller channel. Okay, so cacti are definitely going to be taken off quite well when it comes to safety. You're going to have a lot of safety-related issues when it comes to cacti. A lot of people don't understand that cacti is not an appropriate way to remove Santorum. Question. Cacti is not another fairy dust. Cacti will remove Santorum, just albeit very painfully, whereas fairy dust will actually cause a binding up of the Santorum, which will make you impacted, and it just does not end well. Correct. It does have the same effect of spam, and it does make you constipated. Now, Jesus Christ, will you let me get through the goddamn slide? I do sell spam candy bars. They're covered in Santorum. All right, so doesn't that sound delicious? And really? So anyway, thermostats are also going to cause a number of issues. Again, people not understanding that the thermostat wires actually have an electrical current. Using that to remove Santorum does not end well. Next slide, please. Listen to the radio. You know, you have a valid point. I'm a little too vanilla for the whole Santorum and spam and safety pins and electricity. And, you know, I mean, if it's your thing, more power to you. You know, different strokes for different folks, and right on. So anyway, so listen to the radio. It's one thing that I'm pretty much incapable of. Those of you that have been calling Medic 1 throughout the con, I apologize. Response times have gone up drastically. Again, Santorum-related incident. We were deconning for hours. It was really bad. Let's see here. Show of hands here. Who's in support? Thank you. Show of hands for support of radio buttons. Radio buttons, anybody? Anybody? Okay. All right. All right. Hands down, please. Now, of those of you that support radio buttons, how many of you have obtained them at the Radio Shack? Thank you. Next slide, please. In conclusion, lol, this is my cat putting words on the pic makes it funny. Any questions? None of them, they're on the track. Yes. It does. Next question. There you go. Now, question. There may be Santorum, but again, if you're into that thing, more power to you. Black man in the back. Video was not found guilty. Actually, what happened is it was acquitted on a technicality. Next question. Sir. The Transformers were involved, but that's okay. It made them happy. Next question. No further questions. Going once, going twice. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, we've got 4 people left, and none of them are here. If I'm mistaken, then please tell me. But as far as I know, we still do not have MoveX, Deviant, Inspired Chaos, or Jamie Payne. Leo. Sorry, I think all the decks with cactus in them have been taken, but you have your choice from 1, 6, 8, or 16. 16 it is.
Because it's a legal age in a few states. No, not most states. 12. In dog years. This is a how-to presentation on how to make PowerPoint presentations. how to make PowerPoint slides. This is the beginning. This is the title of the presentation. It's very meta. I can't stop lying. Well, this is the Liars Anonymous meeting. You can't handle the truth. It's the voices are just drowning it out of my head. Next slide. Yeah, so this is neon sign crafts like Minecraft. And I'm using this as a slide example because, as you can see, it uses neon colors. Now, neon colors are always creepy. The not creepy part I kind of put in as a joke. Notice the British spelling of color. British spelling makes your PowerPoint presentations seem much more colonial. And that improves readability, because nothing improves readability than hatred of the British. Next slide. You could bend it, but I'm not sure if you can bend it back. Usually when you go to a doctor and they look at your thing and it's bent, they're like, we can't really straighten that out, it's permanent. I had to go once, and he said something about genital warts, but I'm like, you can just bend it back, can't you? And he's like, no. It's an inverse curve. And it inverts back into itself. It's like a hermaphrodite, but it's self-concealed. It's filled with Centaurum. They call it a Centaurum donut. But I don't want to go into the whole Centaurum side pocket right now. It's like a Centaurum bottle that's sealed with its own bottom. It'll never let you go. And hence the cork. Now, cork is made out of wood. As you can see, sitting in this chair and owning this chair literally gives you wood. And so this chair, especially with these textures, provide a certain feeling to the cork as your ass covers it. This is the actual size of the chair. Sometimes, but only on Tuesdays. See, you gotta carve it first, because the Centaurum isn't held in properly by the cork. A Centaurum is acidic. Most people don't realize that it's highly acidic. Well, that's a whole different, like fetish. If you're into that, I mean, more power to you. But like, I mean, how can you get your dog to do that? I have no clue. Yeah, but and the dog chases the rabbit up. Genius. I call it the rabbit hole. It's okay. When you're old enough, you'll understand. Next slide. Oh, this is easy. So this slide is a great. It's a great example of contrast and comparisons and PowerPoint slides. Baseball versus coffee. Obviously, two topics that have a lot in common. Baseball involves balls, and coffee comes in cans. Both are sexual innuendo. So it's head to head, but that was just a pun. You get it. Now, Juan Gonzalez, that's a misspelling. It's supposed to be Elian Gonzalez, because the raid when they took him back was in the late evening, well, late afternoon. They took him out of that house like a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, and it was pretty fucking action-packed. With a lot of balls. He was brewed. It's partially caffeinated. Not really a drink. He was finally grounded. What? I'm glad you finally caught on. Oh, and I spilled the beans. Well, we drank it and it was delicious. It was pre-salted like all best coffee is. That's Centaurum, not coffee. Next slide. Well, this is actually the wrong picture. It's actually from a different presentation I was giving on naval knots. Or this knot, as you can see how each curve pulls the other knots apart. It's called the goatsy knot. And if you, the more you pull on it, the wider it gets. And I guess that's pretty much it. Is there another side of this one, or? Yeah, my memory's going in my old age. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to do one? Sure, what's your name? Tim. Welcome, Tim. 1, 6, or 8? Which one? Have some microphones.
1 is fine. Which means you can give me anything. Sure. Can I be heard? After my own heart. What a lot of people don't realize is that the best way to shave is not with a translucent, opaque substance that prevents you from seeing that which you are shaving. Shave oil. Google it. Next. The question asked here, there's an answer to it. It's yes. Everyone is looking for that perfect gift, but that, in this case, does not match the picture. That does not attach in this case. It is economical, reuse, recycle, we like that. Creative, yes. Unexpected, yes. But it's to give half a broken carburetor that's actually the deal breaker here. So this was a mistake. I see 2 questions. I'm glad you asked that, but what was your question? And he didn't even have it. Don't know. Sure. What? No. Your thing is, your question is too long already, because does it matter is really where it meant to stop. Next slide, actually. Rhymes with lizard. In the form of haiku, this slide, I think, says all you need. I leave the actual lines, just as a hint, though. That's the 7. The others are the 5. I don't want to give away the rest. Nothing, but I will point out that this is the weather reference, and that's the 7. Here's the other 5. That's all you really need. Next. It's called a kazoo. It's actually a submarine. In the town that I was born, this guy had the wrong color. Supposed to be yellow. Supposed to be yellow. Not in his current posture. He's totally truthful. It's the Photoshop that lies. You can see that his leg actually continues. They're both on the same side. That red is actually a medical anomaly. This is from the anatomically, that's not a leg, so no. But I mean, whatever floats your kazoo. Is this the penultimate slide? Well, then I'd like the penultimate slide.
Actually, that was the wrong slide. I'm sorry.
God. Well. Yeah. So we are told to always look on the sunny side of life. But this is more of a lunar phase here. The man on the moon, little seen, this is the dark side of the moon, is actually in opposition. So don't always look on the sunny side, because you're going to miss a lot of good stuff out there. This is space. That's Earth. Are there any questions about that? Are there any questions? Yes. I'm glad that you asked that. Are there any other questions? This is hot enough to fry an egg, hot enough to fry a dog's brain. Yes. I'm glad that you asked that question. Does anyone else have any questions? I think my job here is done. So, yeah,
Thank you. Who else wants to do it? We got 2 more decks. You. Peter, right? Do you want number 6 or number 8?
2 times 3 or 2 to the third? Yeah. This is not going to go well for any of you. I warn you, I like to talk already, and look at the opening you have given me. Correct. Next slide, please. Okay, so what we're going to try to do in this slide is optimize donkey pinning. The first suggestion, and while I think these are really good basics, like it's really important to remember not to use a live fucking donkey because they kick and it hurts. Sorry? If you like it rough. Talk to that guy. Hey, are you? Hey, somebody has to be the jackass, and I guess for this next 3.5 minutes, it's me. Next slide, please. Buzzword bingo. All right. Got some of my favorite buzzwords like webinar, which is basically a fancy way of saying shit that doesn't work on Linux. We have big data, which is a nice other fancy way for saying, sometimes for saying spam, but awful for saying we really want to be Google and we're never going to be. Sarbanes-Oxley, let's put all the startups out of business. Organic. Tasty and expensive. I don't know. Is anybody? Okay, let's call out. I'm going to call out some words, and the first person who has bingo should say that. Agile. All right, winner. Next. The eternal low paper. College versus wide ruled. Wide does rule. And she said it in college. For those, we're geeks. We like to type, and that's probably because most of us have messy handwriting, which makes, I think, yeah, I see some nods. Like wide rules, it's good for making signs and paper airplanes and questions. God, that's a college level task, clearly, paper mache. Question. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, so I'm going to say no. He seems to be enjoying it. Yeah. Question? Okay, next. Huh? Yeah, what? Wait, only 2 holes? What are you, French? Next slide, please. I don't know where that came from. Next slide. Oh, wow. Always opt to buy a volcano insurance, particularly before you go to Hawaii. If you live near fracking, that's actually the next big challenge, is we're going to move up from earthquakes to actual volcanoes. If you got too close to that donkey's back end, you might want some insurance. It's also helpful when you have, discoursers who spew forth endlessly and with great length and for long periods of verbosity and time, until somebody asks a question, thank the Lord. Yes. Do I sell Sam Turner insurance? No, I'm sorry, that's not this company's business. You might ask Mitt Romney. Yes. That's correct. Though any damages that occur to your house at that point, you'll have to check your homeowner's insurance. Over 9,000. Anyone else? many secrets and helicopters until it is sated and no longer wants to eat our souls. Thanks so much.
And Deviant finally showed up, so he can be our 20th and last speaker. You get deck number 6.
Earlier fun. I was on a conference call. What? Wow, I got the double donger here. Like,
One of them is for one of them is for recording here, and one of them is streaming over Nauticon Radio.
all right. For Artemis. Okay. So, why hackers don't need coffee? It's no, the fuck you say, but honestly, every drop of coffee that pours down your throat is a drop of non-booze, jizz, or blood. So we know the better things that you could be swallowing, and quite frankly, none of it really builds the inner fire the way other things could. Next slide, please. When fish fly, when fish come flying out your throat, other things have been smeared all over your face, making it smell bad. It means you're doing it wrong. It means you're going... Are there questions in the middle already? All right, we'll take a question just to liven it. I've been reading I've published books on this topic, in fact. But we're not talking about publishing a book down someone's throat. That's actually the darker sides of /B things, and we don't do that. Yes, question, sir. Do flying fish have AIDS? Only if they've been orca'd in the blowhole the wrong way. Yes, was there a hand over here? No, there was a hand there. Who do I think I am is a profound inquiry, and I don't actually... Can you check my underwear? What is... I don't even know who I'm saying. I'm Tuesday. So I am... You will gladly wash me machine cold on Tuesday for a laundry cycle today. Is the what with the semen? Is fold filled? Oh, the boat. No, that's actually, it looks like a boat. It's actually just a man in a canoe filled with salty semen. Next slide. Genuine Rolex replicas are not genuine unless purchased from the right dealer. Most of these people that you see dealing you emails all the time saying, oh, genuine Rolex, girls want the fat watch. By the way, where is it in the world, I'm going to digress, where is it in the world that watches are like a pickup thing? Is this an Eastern European thing? You guys have gotten these emails, right? You know what the women's wants. It is your watch, cockbot, 4 exclamation. I've never in my life known someone who's like, oh, look at that smelly guy with no fashion and an awful car and no job. His watch is so sexy. Don't knock it to you. Well, you mean like, don't try the watch like this way. Ooh, that's like tickle you the wrong way. Question in the back again. Do I watch The Watchmen? No, but who watches The Watchmen watchers? This is something Congress has really yet to take up, and I am dissatisfied with this amount of power in unchecked hands. Next slide. Spot the differences. Spot the differences between these two things. Well, I can't see too many differences other than this is someone who thought, oh, wow, you know what's awesome? I'm going to block the slide right here. If you can tell me what music player is running there, yes! How many people still run Winamp? You are all the coolest people ever. Like, we power our MP3s with fucking coal, and we are unabashedly not ashamed. I get shit every time I try to play MP3s at a party on Winamp, and fuck those haters.
Do they whip the llama's ass?
It always whip, How many people can still hear it? Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass. Yes. Wait. The interface of, well, yes, absolutely it is. Oh, that's a good question. See, the coal that would be powering your Winamp MP3s get compressed into the fake diamonds on your Rolex watch to pick up the women that you will insert it into before publishing books all over their face. Yes. Llamas have corks? That's like even worse than a cat's penis. Seriously, if you got like a friend and be like, hey, you know cats have fucked up looking penises. If they don't believe you, have them Google the reaction video to that is better than like reaction videos to 2 Girls, 1 Cup. Someone's like, cats don't have barbed penises. What the fuck? There's a question over here somewhere. Yes. Is it illegal to Google a cat penis? No, it's illegal to YouTube a cat penis. If your tube stays away from the cat penis, you're fine, at least according to current law in this jurisdiction. Any other slide? To sum it all up, rogueclown. We need some really good hacker graffiti around the town. How is your town? You gotta like really, just like root Jew, totally like, oh, F sick this goddamn city, whole bullshit like that. We need to see more of that. I need to see good photos of geek graffiti. Nobody's gonna be a taker. I'm not telling you to decorate the hotel. That they still let us around here, even though we kind of piss all over this place. What was that? Graffiti with hockey pucks or decorate the? I'm gonna just go to the question in the back. You should. Pico. I don't know, man. I think I'm publishing not at my full potential after a lot of talking earlier. So, are there any? We'll take a couple more questions, and then I'm going to read some more. 3 more questions. Yes, sir. Are those what bricks? Scab bricks. Oh, no. I thought you meant like you pick at a wound so often that it turns into a brick, and then you build really gross little houses with it on your desk at work. Question was over here somewhere. No. 2 more questions to go. They're freebies. No one's going to ask them. They're all afraid. Yes. Pear. Pear is tastier than apple, but spring, we have learned, is the best. Yes. You just fucking beat my geek penis right there with that question. I can't even top that statement, sir. All right, thank you so much, Nikki.
Thank you. And that concludes Whose Slide Is It Anyway? Thank you so much for coming, and see you next year.